Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's really I'm very happy to have you here. Been a lot of meetings today. Sorry, a little brain numb at the moment. I'll introduce myself. I'm Trish Christensen, the President and CEO of the Modesto Chamber of Commerce. And while people are trickling in, I think we'll take a minute and give you each an opportunity to just introduce yourself, say who you're with, and we'll try and run the gamut as everyone else gets settled. So I will go to Ralph first.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ralph Sulla with the Marble Bridge Funding Group. We do accounts receivable finance.
Thank you. Barney, you are muted still, sir.
Here we go. Am I good now?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Barney Kramer, CEO and founder of Strategic Management and basically business strategies, management consulting, and a number of things, software development, etc.
Thank you. Jeff.
I think I'm the only Jeff on the line. I'm Jeff and I work with Phil with Bay Valley Tech and he just invited me today.
Thank you. Funny you said that. I tried to skim real quick to see if there's any other Jeffs. Sarah.
Hi, my name is Sabra and I'm with 209 Multimedia Company.
Nice, happy to have you. Stephanie.
Hi everyone, my name is Stephanie Moreno and I'm the Student Success Specialist for Geekwise Academy, and Daisy invited me today. And I also brought a colleague with me, Floyd. I don't know if Floyd introduced himself quite yet.
No, and I don't see, oh, I do see that name. We'll get there. We're almost there. Thank you. Bob.
Hi, Bob Kimball. I'm in economic development with the city of Modesto.
Maisie.
I am Maisie Silva, and I'm the Marketing and Training Coordinator for Valley Sierra SBDC.
Thank you. Floyd?
Hello, everybody. Yeah, I'm with Stephanie. I'm from Geekwise Academy. I'm the Business Development Manager.
Thank you. Leanne? Actually, she's marketing at Casa de Modesto Retirement Center. She can hear us. She doesn't have a speaker to report in on her own. Joshua.
Hi, everyone. My name is Josh Allen. I'm with IT Solutions Curry. We're an IT provider for the Central Valley, and I'm the Business Alignment Manager.
Thank you. Cece?
Hi, everybody. My name is Cece Howell. I am a reporter with the Patterson Irrigator.
Happy to have you. Donna? Donna, you are not muted. Would you like to chime in? We will come back to her. Laura?
Hi, everyone. I'm Laura Farrell with the Stanislaus County Library. I'm the Marketing and Outreach Coordinator.
Hi. Harold? Harold George, would you like to introduce yourself?
Can you hear me?
There you go. Yes.
Okay. I guess this will be fine.
You with?
I am from
Dory, do you want to introduce yourself? You're popping on and off there. Microphone issues. We have one working their way in right now. Phil, I'll go to you and then you can introduce our speaker.
Great. Thank you very much, Trish. So my name is Philip with Bay Valley Tech. We're one of the organizers of Tech Connect. And so we're so happy to see so many of our friends and business associates on the line today. So one or a couple things real quick. Stephanie and Floyd from GeekWise, welcome to Modesto. Really glad you guys could join us today. And Sabra and Harold, I think it would be good to connect you guys with Jeff Romero, that just to introduce himself, as well as Tiffany, because I think the two of them could really help you guys ramp your online traffic. So Tiffany is a social media expert. She's been working in this region here in the Central Valley for many years, helping organizations, businesses grow their marketing and social media presence through her consulting company, as well as through the Valley Sierra Small Business Development Center, who's also another sponsor of this event. So I've personally worked with her here for a while now, and she is does a fantastic job. And I can say that having a background in digital marketing myself, I used to manage the entire social media and digital marketing team for Gallo's 100 Brands. So I know she does a fantastic job, and we're all looking forward to hearing what she has to educate us about today. And with that, I'll turn it over to you, Tiffany.
Thank you, Phil. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for taking the time to be here today. I'm going to go ahead and bring my screen up. And Phil, can you just give me the thumbs up that we're good on visuals?
Yep, we can see you fine.
Cool. All right, you guys. So just a little about myself. My name, again, is Tiffany, of course. I have been doing digital marketing since 2013. Kind of was a hobby at first, and actually, became a profession in 2016 when I started my own consulting firm. So I actually live up in Tuolumne County, originally from the Bay Area, but I work throughout the entire Central Valley, Modesto, Merced, Mariposa, all the way down to Bakersfield, up the coast, down to SoCal, you name it. Got clients everywhere. And really where I come in is to help businesses fine tune their social media strategy based on their specific goals. That's something that I'm going to brush on today. And then I do social media management for the companies that, maybe don't have the time or resources to keep up on it themselves. So kind of a combination of management work and consulting work. I'm honored to be a consultant with the Valley Sierra Small Business Development Center. Again, another partner of this Tech Connect organization by the Modesto Chamber of Commerce. Great organization for business owners who have access to no cost and confidential consulting, along with workshops in many different areas, including business startup, QuickBooks, marketing, you name it, even HR. I also work with the UC Merced Small Business Development Center, also on a private level with the entire Central region, Central California regional SBDC, along with the Santa Cruz Small Business Development Center as well. So what I want to talk to you guys about today, and I kind of broke it up into like 3 different parts here. The way we kind of labeled this was how to supercharge your revenue with social media. But there's a lot that goes into that. So being mindful of what's going on with a lot of the restrictions due to coronavirus, I wanted to touch on monetization opportunities through these various platforms, how to create a successful social media strategy, what components are, and then kind of best practices plus some trends and news. So there's a lot to cover here. It's going to be pretty fast paced. I encourage you to put your questions in the chat section. I will most likely get to them at the end, just for time management's sake. I'm pretty notorious for going over for time, so I'm gonna be really, I'm gonna work really hard at not doing that today. So let's dive in. Again, today's agenda, just breaking it down kind of into the 3 different sections: monetization opportunities on social media, how to create a social media strategy, and then best practices and current trends. So first of all, let's talk about why. I mean, I don't really need to talk about why social media is important, because that's why you're all here right now. But let's kind of go through some of these statistics here. Over 3.2 billion people worldwide use social media. So, you know, we're coming up on almost half of the population. That includes highly industrialized countries and non-highly industrialized countries. So that's really, really interesting statistic. And as we, you know, move through the years, we're seeing that statistic grow. And the bottom line is people are searching online, people are on these platforms, and this is a great way for your business to be found. Almost 70% of US adults use Facebook regularly. 73% of marketers believe that their efforts have been somewhat effective or very effective. We've seen a lot of shifts with coronavirus and what works and what doesn't. That's something that I'm going to touch on kind of how to adjust to the trends. Over 50% of people are using social media to research products, and over 70% of consumers who have had a positive experience are likely to recommend the brand to their family or friends. So what are some of the top social media platforms? So here's kind of like a list, like a laundry list of sort of the top platforms. And just kind of looking over, we've got Facebook and their properties, which include Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, WhatsApp. And we see Facebook kind of under continued scrutiny for the way that they have kind of monopolized big tech and social media. I'll be curious to see how that all plays out. But we've also got these long-standing platforms like Twitter, Snapchat, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok. One thing I'm going to brush on is how high the usage of TikTok is and how loyal that audience is. So each of these platforms have different demographics as far as who uses them. And the key to implementing a successful social media strategy is learning who your target market is and where they live online. So knowing that we have all these different options, how can you supercharge your revenue as a small business using these platforms? And what I've done is kind of broken down Facebook and Instagram because they've rolled out the most monetization features since COVID-19. And these are for both product-based businesses and service-based businesses. Also, nonprofit. Again, for time's sake, I would love to show you what all of these are. And Facebook introduced this new feature last May, all because of coronavirus. And it's called Facebook Shops. This actually is integrated with Instagram as well. So this is not just Facebook, but this is an option to, at no charge, set up a store for your Facebook page, integrate it with your Instagram, apply for Instagram shopping, and then have an Instagram store as well. So if you sell products, whether you're a lot of these platforms actually have built-in integrations for social, and if you haven't done that yet, you're really missing on an opportunity. With that, when you integrate your catalog, there are some really great features, including dynamic ads, retargeting campaigns, and much more. So again, that Facebook shop section, if you sell products in your product-based business, that is a huge way to monetize. The next thing is live shopping, and this is kind of in its initial, they've just started rolling this out to kind of the top creators. But essentially what Facebook is starting to roll out is this, the ability to do a live video stream and to be able to sell products through that live stream. So this is going to be great for, again, product-based businesses. This feature is supposed to be rolling out to Instagram, although it hasn't yet. Again, it's in its early stages, but they're saying sometime this year it's going to be rolled out to have more expandable features and more readily available for the average user. Facebook Stars. So for those of you who are video streamers and go live a lot, Facebook Stars is a program where you can monetize your live streams. This needs to be done. You have to actually sign up for this through Facebook Creator Studio. Hopefully you know what that is if you're a streamer. And all you have to do is apply for the program if you're eligible. This is going to be pretty much all you need to do is provide your EIN and business information. Any money you make, Facebook is going to send you a 1099 at the end of the year. But again, as you're live streaming, viewers can send these quote stars, and each star has a monetary value. So at the end of your live stream, you can say that, you know, say you made 50 bucks, 100 bucks. It'll tell you who gave you how many stars and what that equated to financially. So again, another great way to monetize a video. So if you're more of like a service-based business and you offer maybe webinars or trainings, Facebook paid online events would be a great option for you. This is where you create, similar to any other Facebook event, you're actually creating an event, but it'll prompt you, is this an online event or is this an in-person event? To do this paid online event, but you charge by giving people access to that event. So these are all preset prices. For example, $9.99, $24.99. The max is $99.99. And people can sign up. They pay right there through Facebook. They then get access to the event. And then you go live or send them that external link and they have access. So again, like myself, as I'm doing right now, I could monetize, you know, some of my presentations using these paid online events. This is something, you know, similar to what your business offers. I strongly recommend you look into that. Marketplace. Everyone knows what Facebook Marketplace is, hopefully. It's a place to buy and sell things. What a lot of people don't know is that businesses can list products on Marketplace for free. In addition to that, what a lot of real estate agents or rental companies don't know is that you can actually list your real estate listings or say commercial, industrial rentals, even, you know, home rentals via your business Facebook page. So I do this for a realtor client of mine. I list each real estate listing in Marketplace. I put it on her Instagram, I put it on her Facebook, blah, 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 blah. But I go into Marketplace as her business page, put that listing up, and then it links back to her Facebook page. We've been able to grow our organic reach through that and actually attain a new buyer client of hers just through Marketplace alone. Again, that's free. So if you can find a way to use Marketplace, do so. The last thing for Facebook that I'm going to talk about as far as monetization would be for nonprofits. When you're a nonprofit, you can go through and verify your 501c3 status through Facebook Business Manager. That does require some documentation, legal documentation, legal, you know, like proof of your bank account. I've done it for a couple of clients, but with that, you can then drive donations and create fundraisers for your nonprofit. So again, that's a great tool to monetize Facebook as a nonprofit. Okay, let's move on to Instagram. So Instagram is owned by Facebook. I think most people know that. Instagram is one of the largest social media platforms out there. Because it's tied to Facebook, if you create your Facebook Shops account under your Commerce Manager through Business Manager, what that does is you can link your Instagram business account to your Facebook business account. And so what that does, it gives you the ability, very similar to Facebook, you can tag products on your posts, you can tag products on your stories. There are organic features that'll help you get found. But what's interesting is that Instagram just did this whole revamp of pretty much their entire navigation. So for those of you who use Instagram, this is kind of something under the news section, I guess, but they've created a new section, standalone section for shopping. The shopping aspect of it and selling products, and then Reels we'll get to as far as, you know, what's trending with short video content. But what they just announced recently, I want to say this is like a month ago, was they're now rolling out the ability to tag products in your Instagram Reels. So this is a huge thing. Reels, for those of you who don't know what those are, Reels are Instagram's copycat of TikTok. TikTok are short video compilations. TikTok is on the rise, expected to hit 1.2 billion monthly active users at any moment. They're already over a billion. So really, really big platform, especially since COVID. But the opportunity to shop on Reels is huge as well. For those who also, you know, like on Facebook, do live video streams and are video curators, they have what's called Instagram badges. So very similar to Facebook stars, people can buy badges for you and send you money as you're streaming live, and you then get to monetize your live stream that way. Instagram stories, let's talk about how you can monetize through Instagram stories. A few of the organic features, I'm gonna start with stickers. So if you're a restaurant, there's an order food, and restaurants right now we know are being hit really, really hard. So if you're a restaurant, there's an order food sticker that you can put in your Instagram stories, and you can link it to your Grubhub, your DoorDash, Postmates, whatever you use to have food delivered. Donations, again, if you are a verified nonprofit, you can drive donations to your nonprofit using the donation sticker. That's actually been around the longest out of all of these. And last but not least, gift cards is also a sticker. You can sync up depending on the program that you use for gift cards. SquareUp, for example, if you guys use that, you can drive the action of people purchasing gift cards just through that sticker alone on Instagram stories. For those of you who aren't Instagram users and have no idea what I'm talking about, stories, just so you know, are vertical form content that only live for 24 hours. And this was a copycat, once again, of Snapchat. The other way that you can monetize stories is if you have over 10,000 followers, and that is because it gives you a swipe up feature. When you do a swipe up, that allows you to drive traffic to whatever website you want. So whether that is a donation page, whether it's to your store, whether it's to a registration for an event like this, you know, that we're on today, many options. But the swipe up sticker, once you get to 10,000 followers, can really help you drive traffic based on what type of business you are and what your goals are. Last but not least, on Instagram, many people don't know that if you go into edit your profile on Instagram itself, there are call to actions that you can add. You have 4 different options, and I'm kind of bummed. They used to have Eventbrite linked up where you could have a get tickets button on your profile. And I use that a lot because I do a lot of event management stuff for clients. They've taken that away and they've kind of simplified things. Got 4 options: a book now button, an order food button, sorry for the typo, a gift cards button, and a reserve button. And those are all synced again with third-party tools that your company may use. So again, the order food, that's going to be DoorDash, Grubhub. There's actually quite a long list. Book Now, Acuity, and other scheduling tools. Reserve, that's actually also for restaurants, for reserving a table at that restaurant when we can go back out to eat. Gift cards, same programs used on the stickers like a Square Up or such. So make sure that your profile is optimized as well, and that if you can add a call to action button to drive traffic towards sales, towards ordering food, towards whatever it is, make sure those are on there as well. Okay, so I'm gonna go through a couple other ways to monetize some of these other platforms. So for example, LinkedIn, I would imagine everyone here uses LinkedIn. With LinkedIn, they just announced last month, and I don't have it available yet on any of my pages, but it's slowly being rolled out. They're rolling out product pages. And product pages, again, if you're a product-based business and you sell products, it's a way to showcase your products, add information, and even add a link that drives traffic to the product page on your website. So again, if you're product-based, be on the lookout for those features rolling out. It's going to be in your admin view. There will be a products tab. What they're also trying to do, again, for service-based businesses, apparently they're going to be coming out with a services marketplace in the next few months. So I'll be really curious to see for those of us who are service-based, how that works out. But again, that's a great way to sell our services, like myself and many on here. Great opportunity to showcase ourselves beyond our LinkedIn profile. TikTok, moving on to TikTok, again, over 1 billion monthly active users. Again, this is going to skew a little younger in usage, but it has gotten way more diverse since coronavirus. One of my favorite people to follow is an older couple. They're in their 60s. They do all sorts of funny stuff, very entertaining. So it is a lot more diverse than most think. But TikTok just announced last month that they have a partnership with Shopify. So for those of you who are e-com and you use Shopify to build your store, you can actually showcase your store on Shopify on your profile. Again, great opportunity. YouTube. So for those of you who are video creators, to really monetize YouTube, you've got to have 1,000 followers. But what they did just announce is that they're working out some type of system where you can do product tags similar to like a Facebook or an Instagram. So again, if you're a product-based business, they're looking to roll out that capability to where you can advertise products throughout your video. Last but not least, Twitter. Again, this is video monetization. It's a tool called Amplify. I want to be the first to say that I'm not a huge Twitter user, have not used it, but I did want to let you guys know if you are a Twitter user, there is that option. And hold on, I just lost my presentation. And what I want to talk about next is actually ads. And a lot of people don't know how to do ads properly on social media. Many of the platforms have very similar objectives, and it's just basic customer acquisition, also called a funnel. And you're going to see 3 types of campaigns, and they're going to be awareness, consideration, and conversion. So your first step is to obviously pick your objective and what you want to achieve with that ad. It could be app installs, it could be traffic, it could be conversions, it could be purchases, catalog purchases if you're e-com. Next, and this is where many people I think fail, is selecting your audience. And this is really, when we talk about how to create a social media strategy, one of the most important aspects is knowing who your target market is. If you don't know that, you're really flying blind digitally. So taking that target market and creating that audience in these different ad platforms. Some of the things that you can target are gender, age, geographic location, demographics, job titles, for example. Whether you're a parent of certain age children, you would be surprised at the capabilities. Where you went to school, the bigger universities can be targeted. Interests, are you a dog lover? Easy peasy, I can show you an ad by putting in dogs. Behaviors, keywords in certain platforms. So there's a lot that you can target, and it's one of the most important things is making sure that the targeting is correct on the ad itself. In addition to that, you're going to select your budget and duration and upload your creative. Again, we want to have compelling creative with a call to action at the end. The other thing that I want to talk about through ads and ad creation is the ability to track people through these tracking pixels, such as Facebook Pixel. Most of these platforms have tracking mechanisms. It's a piece of code that you put into the back end of your website. It gives you the ability to track your user's behavior, retarget, create custom audiences, all sorts of fun stuff. We could get even more advanced into how to create lookalike audiences, but we just don't have the time today. So just know that, you know, if none of those organic features that I talked about earlier work for you, ads, if done properly, can really drive revenue. Okay, so moving on to how to create a social media strategy. I've always put there 6 steps. These are my 6 steps. So this is like my version of social media strategy. So number 1 is, what is your objective with using social media marketing for your business? Why are you online? Most people want to, you know, increase sales or, you know, increase clientele or whatever it is that's going to be relative to their business. But every business is different. Just saying that you want to be on social media to be on social media doesn't give you any direction. So number 1, what's your goal? What are your goals? And don't be afraid to get specific. Number 2, again, one of the most important aspects, identify your target market. Figure out what they're searching for. Figure out what they like to do in their spare time. How do you create, you know, if you really want to get detailed into this, you can create avatars and target those different avatars. But this is one of the key steps, is learning who your target market is, your ideal client, your ideal customer. So number 2, target market. Number 3, once you know who your target market is, where do they hang out online? Are they Facebook users? Are you targeting Gen Z? Because at that point, you should be on TikTok, probably Snapchat, Instagram, maybe some YouTube. So every demographic is going to be different. And finding out where those people, where your target market hangs out and the platforms that they use is going to be really important. Number 4, create original content. Original. So I think one of the biggest things one of the hardest things that I come across when doing consulting work is that people don't want to put the time into creating content. And I get it. We all are limited on time. But we also have to be aware that there are a lot of copyright infringement issues when you're repurposing other people's content. So make sure that, you know, you're not only not breaking the law, but you're creating content that's within your brand, the aesthetics of your brand, within the tone of your brand. You know, what's your voice? So all this needs to be taken into account. And relevant copy with a call to action. This is all really important in getting a good return on your time invested in social media. Next, you want to study your analytics, and each platform has its own set of analytics. I could tell you Facebook and Instagram, you could get down to who exactly your audience is as far as age group, location, and gender, and what times they're online. So I know that my audience is online in the evenings. I know, therefore, I need to post in the evenings. Those analytics give me that information, and I watch them closely every single week to make sure that I'm getting the most out of my marketing efforts. So determine those KPIs, those key performance indicators, study them, study those analytics, and then if you're finding that something's not working, adjust your strategy. And that's one thing I think we all learned with 2020 is pivot, pivot, pivot. And it's no different with social media because it's constantly changing and, you know, there are constantly new features. And so don't be afraid of pivoting and adjusting your strategy. Last but not least, with a social media strategy, engage back. It actually does matter how your page is ranked, you know, based on how active you are and how quickly you respond, you know, to your community, your followers. And it's really about building community, inspiring conversations. So really think of this as a form of customer service because it is. So the 4 C's is kind of, you know, how I live online. You want to create content, inspire conversations, create community, and connect with others. So, you know, if we go back to kind of the fundamentals of marketing, there's the 4 P's, you know, product, price, placement, promotion. Well, when it comes to digital marketing, I would argue, yes, the 4 P's are still relevant, but let's add the 4 C's on. So now that we're, you know, a little more aware of how we can make money utilizing social media platforms, how we can create, you know, a successful social media strategy, what are the best practices? What are some of the trends? And what are some of the new things going on? So this is how I'm going to wrap today up, and then I'll take questions. So best practices, number one, you guys, we've got to be consistent. Showing up consistently is very important, especially with the algorithms. The algorithms are extremely competitive in all of these different platforms, some more competitive than others. You know, if you stop showing up, you lose the momentum that you have. And I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritties of how these algorithms work because we just don't have enough time for that. But know that consistency does play a key role in how you're shown to people. Also, I think, you know, one of the things that I find is people don't know that a Facebook profile is different than a Facebook business page. That accounts can be converted to business accounts, you know, Instagram, Snapchat, all those other, you know, different platforms. Make sure that your accounts are business accounts. Make sure they're all linked properly, especially with Facebook properties. Make sure they're 100% complete and make sure they're optimized. For example, if you've got a business Facebook page, are you categorized correctly? Are you in the correct page template? Are your tabs optimized and ordered, you know, in a way that you want it to showcase your business? There are so many different things that are driving factors as to how people view your brand. So make sure that everything's done properly. Another thing that I see, kind of common mistake, would be customizing your captions. A lot of people are like, hey, I can post this caption to LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you know, whatever else is on there, Google My Business, whatever. It is not a one size fits all. Each platform has its own etiquette. So we look at Twitter, that's a microblogging platform, right? And with Twitter, we've got limited characters versus, so like Twitter, you know, 280, Instagram, 2,200, Facebook, like 10,000. LinkedIn, I believe it's 1,500, whether it's a page or a personal. There are all these different platforms that have their own rules. And what flies on one platform doesn't always fly on the other. So make sure you're keeping up on the etiquettes. For example, links work on Facebook, they work on Twitter, they work on LinkedIn. However, they don't work in the caption of an Instagram account. So when you're posting on Instagram and you put a link in your caption, it just kind of looks funny and it's frustrating for users when they go to click on it and it doesn't work. So what we want to do is move that link into our bio, into our URL, or use a multi-URL tool and use the Instagram etiquette of click the link in my bio to learn more or to sign up or whatever it is. So knowing the etiquette for each platform is going to help you as well. Next, I would say post at peak times. Again, we've got really competitive algorithms to fight. And so it's really important that you're posting when the most people are online. And this is for all platforms. I know Twitter doesn't give you a peak time, LinkedIn doesn't give you peak time. Facebook and Instagram do, but you'll start learning your audience's behavior. For example, if I post in the morning on LinkedIn, on my personal account, for some reason, I don't get as much traction as if I post in the afternoon. So usually I post in the afternoons. So you'll learn your audience and post at those peak times and cater to their schedule so you can be put in front of as many people as possible. Next, I would say batch out your content and schedule it all out. Twitter has a scheduling tool. Facebook has a scheduling tool. Instagram has a scheduling tool. LinkedIn, you would have to use like a, Tailwind, I believe. Is it Tailwind? No, that might be for Pinterest. But sometimes you're going to have to use a third-party platform. Some are free, some are not. Buffer and Hootsuite, great scheduling platforms. But if you can take the time to batch out your content, say for the next week or two, and schedule it all out, all you have to do at that point is monitor. So if you can, use one of those tools. Next, and this is really, really important, be authentic and use digital empathy. One thing that we saw during COVID was a lot of people were in really bad spots, whether they were employees or business owners themselves. And so we had to be really sensitive in our messaging as business owners. And so use digital empathy, one, and be sensitive to the times going on. But two, no matter who you are, be authentic, because consumers are starting to see through the fakeness. And so what we really want to aim to do is connect with others. And authenticity is really the way to do that. I put company mission there because, think about what purpose your company serves. If you're with a company or an owner of a business, think about the purpose that you serve. I read this really interesting study about Generation Z and how they're very purpose driven. They're, a little more politically active than maybe past generations were at that age. And so they're looking for, causes that they can relate to and that are close to their heart, and they're supporting companies that support those causes. So whether it's, an animal shelter, the Black Lives Matter movement, women's rights, whatever social or political issue. It's interesting because I really try not to get political at all. But I noticed that you're kind of being, you get, how do I say this politically correct? It's becoming more and more common, and it drives more and more connection. So again, be mindful of who your target audience is, and think of the missions that are close to them. So again, it's kind of deep diving into that target market. And again, don't do it just to grow your followers or grow your revenue. This has to be authentic. But think of the purpose that you serve, and how you are making a difference in the world. Okay, last but not least, best practices. Keep up on the algorithms and the current trends. So we've seen a lot of shift in the last year. And to no surprise, people are spending more time on their phones and watching TV. It's not by much, but it's by like a half an hour a day. Memes are rising in popularity. Why? Because, well, let's face it, last year was a really serious year and people needed humor. Video, really interesting. Users are watching YouTube 4 times more than they're actually watching Netflix. And the average is actually 23 hours a month, which is quite a bit. So video is not going anywhere. If anything, it's expanding. And we saw that through the rise of TikTok last year. With that, Instagram came out with Reels. We've still got stories, or, on Twitter, they're called tweets. That's temporary 24-hour content, short video clips. So short, if you're not ready to go long form video, that's okay. Start experimenting with short. If you're going to use that longer video, 3 minutes or more, make sure to add captions. 90% of people are watching video with sound off. And this is just a basic overview of how many things have happened in the world of social media pretty much in the last couple of months. And this is a short list compared to how much has happened. But look at how long this list is. A couple things to kind of just touch on. That 24-hour disappearing content, it's pretty much on all platforms now. So we just saw Twitter roll out tweets. We just saw LinkedIn roll out stories. In fact, LinkedIn is now offering a swipe up feature. It's not yet available to everyone, but it's being rolled out to drive traffic. So we're seeing that 24-hour disappearing content, where it doesn't have to be as perfectly put together, really rising in popularity. TikTok, I just want to touch on this because I was really surprised. TikTok actually beats Facebook in time spent per user per month now. That kind of blew me away. That was as of this month. We saw the whole revamp of Instagram. We saw the introduction of Instagram Reels. We saw that there's a new shopping tab. There's now Instagram guides. You can now do keyword searching in Instagram Explorer. So be really strategic in how you're writing your copy on Instagram, because Instagram kind of has its own built-in SEO feature now, aside from just hashtags. Royalty-free music is now available as of last week to business Instagram accounts. We never had that before. So you can now add music to stories and reels. There's increased integration between all of Facebook's properties. We'll see if the government deregulates that with what's going on right now. But for now, it's actually really great as a business owner because it's less work. Facebook just announced they're rolling out this quote new pages experience. We don't know what that's going to look like, other than the fact that they're taking the like page button away and it's just going to be a follow button. They're saying that they're going to be taking away like editing abilities and some other stuff. So I don't really know what this is going to look like. I took a whole webinar with no one really knows. But that's getting ready to roll out. That was just announced a couple of weeks ago. Facebook just updated for those of us who just have personal accounts. The account quality section has been revamped, and it's a lot more easy to sift through as far as how you're shown online and what Facebook's looking at. So check that out. Make sure privacy settings are to your standard. Facebook and YouTube, they now have hashtag search result pages, really similar to Instagram. That's a big deal as well because that can help you get found on those platforms. YouTube, they just announced that they're launching 24-hour insights. So now video creators don't have to be monitoring those first 24 hours as closely. So if you're really into the data, you're going to have that new metric, the 24-hour insights. And this is a big one. Apple iOS 14. So this new operating system, it's going to allow iPhone users to opt out of tracking. And Facebook freaked out over this because Facebook and Snapchat, supposedly, according to Search Engine Journal, they're going to be the most effective platforms. So as of right now, 70% of iPhone users share their identifier for advertisers data currently, right? And that number is expected to go from 7% to 10 to 15%. And what that means for us is that the Facebook pixels and all of that tracking is going to be very hard to track. So what I'm going to do when this is over, I'm going to give you guys the link for those of you who use Facebook advertising. A lot of businesses do. I think it's really important to read this article on how these new terms are going to affect our advertising efforts. The good thing is we can still do retargeting campaigns with internal retargeting. So, retargeting on Facebook engagement, Instagram engagement, messages, etc. And last but not least, we're seeing all these new platforms popped up. We already know Parler's long gone, but what about Clubhouse? Clubhouse, it's an audio only, iOS invite only platform, and everyone's talking about it in the social media world. I'd be curious to see what stays and what doesn't, because we've seen a lot of these come and go. And the bottom line is there's a lot going on in the digital world, and there are a lot of changes happening right now, a lot of privacy things taking place as well. And so keep an eye on what's going on and be able to adjust your strategy accordingly. Here's some ways that you can and Instagram, Google, LinkedIn, all of those business sites, they announce what's new as well. So keep up to date on the industry. It is constantly changing. I think that's what I love about it the most. It keeps me on my toes. Unfortunately, that's hard for business owners. So I encourage you to follow me. I really try and keep my followers up to date on news as things happen on these different platforms. I really focus on Facebook and Instagram and some of those bigger ones. But again, I'm here to help you guys. Please also follow the Modesto Chamber of Commerce, Bay Valley Tech, and the SBDC. They're all great supportive resources for business and tech professionals out there. So with that being said, thank you. I didn't go over in time, thank God.
Well, thank you for that, Tiffany. I will direct you to the chat box. There's one pending question for you at the bottom.
Okay, so I have, let's see. I tried to boost an ad on Facebook that this time was rejected. I tried to figure out why. It was to announce openings and use the equal opportunity icon. Yes. So depending, where's Leanne with? She didn't have audio, right?
She does not have audio.
Modesto Retirement Center, they could have marked it as a special category ad. So if you show an ad that pertains to employment, credit, housing, so that would make sense, housing, or politics, you have to check a certain box as a special ad category. And all that does basically is kind of limit your targeting options per their non-discrimination standards. So Leanne, that's probably what's going on.
She's specifically with Casa de Modesto Retirement Center. So they're big and have been around here quite a long time. Anyone else have a question real quick? You feel free to unmute. Did you have a link?
I don't know if Josh is still on here, but I just have to give Katie a shout out. I didn't know Josh, who we met like the first Tech Connect mixer. Apparently I've known his wife since I was a little kid. We danced together our whole life. So.
She saw her picture and was like, wow, I know her.
Such a small world.
That's awesome.
So funny.
With that, before we wrap up, I'll just give a general pitch. Whether you're looking to spend money in Modesto, shopping local, it applies to services, support for one another through resources, tech, digital, social media. There's professionals and specialists right here in our own community that can answer questions, be your guide, and be a consultant for you. So unless there's something else, I'm really happy that so many joined us today, and share this forward. Follow the Modesto Chamber social media and our eBlast. We have all sorts of programs up and running right now, from women in business to rising professionals. This Tech Connect one, which we're really proud of. We have a leadership series starting, and we are doing Business U again, where we would also at some point extend an invitation to Tiffany to present on social media to businesses in general looking for insight, and that'll cover a wide range of topics. That'll be HR, QuickBooks, it could be social media, it could be just leadership within the workplace, it could be HR, that'll be a wide mix of things. So all those are monthly. So we have a lot going on ourselves. So happy to have you today. Please unmute and jump in if you have something to add. And if not, we will see you next month.
Thank you everyone again for taking the time to be here. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.